From fierce to apocalyptic, these are the most powerful storms our planet can create. And number one is almost unimaginable. Today, we're ranking the strongest storms Earth has ever unleashed, measured by wind speed, pressure, and sheer destructive energy. The gap between number 10 and number 1 is not just big, it's on a completely different scale of physics. Stay to the end, because the number 1 storm on this list is so violent, meteorologists still argue about how to properly measure it. We ranked these using real recorded data: wind speeds, barometric pressure, and total energy released, not hype. Let's start from the bottom and work our way up. Coming in at number 10, the classic severe thunderstorm. A single strong thunderstorm can release the energy of about 10 atomic bombs. It packs winds up to roughly 60 miles per hour, hail the size of golf balls, and lightning bolts hotter than the sun's surface. That lightning hits around 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit, nearly 5 times hotter than the surface of our own star. Every second, roughly 100 lightning bolts strike the Earth from storms just like this one. It's the most common heavyweight on the list, and the entry point into real weather violence. But compared to what's coming, a thunderstorm is basically a warm-up act. Because the next storm turns that same energy into something spinning. At number 9, we have the derecho, a fast-moving wall of straight-line wind. A derecho doesn't rotate like a tornado, but it can stretch hundreds of miles and hit with wind gusts over 100 miles per hour. In 2020, a single derecho tore across Iowa and flattened crops on more than 10 million acres of farmland. It's basically an inland hurricane made of pure forward force, and most people have never even heard of it. The reason it ranks here is simple. It delivers hurricane-level damage without any warning coastline to prepare. But the next one adds something a derecho can't: a rotating funnel with pinpoint destruction. Sliding in at number 8, the classic tornado. A strong tornado can spin at around 200 miles per hour and level well-built homes in seconds. Most tornadoes are small, but even an average one packs winds that would peel the roof off a school. The United States sees around 1,200 of them every year, more than any other country on Earth. Of them every year, more than any other country on Earth. They form fast, move erratically, and can turn a quiet afternoon into a disaster zone in minutes. Tornadoes rank high because they concentrate absurd energy into a footprint, sometimes less than a mile wide. But the next storm is what happens when a tornado stops being ordinary and starts breaking records. At number 7, the EF5 tornado is the strongest tornado category we officially recognize, and EF5 packs winds over 200 miles per hour, and in extreme cases has been clocked near 300. The 1999 Bridge Creek Moore tornado in Oklahoma recorded winds of around 302 miles per hour, one of the highest ever measured on Earth. At that speed, asphalt gets scoured off roads and vehicles get thrown like toys across entire neighborhoods. Only a tiny fraction of tornadoes reach this level, but when they do, almost nothing man-made survives a direct hit. Halfway through the list, and honestly, we're just getting warmed up because number 1 operates on a completely different scale. Climbing to number 6, the classic hurricane, also known as a typhoon or cyclone depending on where you live. A Category 1 hurricane starts at 74 miles per hour, but the storm itself can stretch 300 miles wide. That means it isn't a single blast of wind. It's a slow, grinding weather system that pounds an area for hours or even days. A single mature hurricane releases more energy per day than the entire world uses in electricity in a year. It ranks here because size and duration matter almost as much as raw wind speed on a list like this. But the next tier of hurricane is where the numbers start to look genuinely absurd. At number 5, the Category 5 hurricane. To qualify, sustained winds must exceed 157 miles per hour, and the strongest can push well past 188. Hurricane Patricia in 2015 topped out with sustained winds around 215 miles per hour off the Pacific coast of Mexico. At those speeds, storm surge can rise more than 20 feet, swallowing entire coastlines in a matter of hours. It's the most destructive storm most people will ever see on a news broadcast, and it earns its spot without question. But there's a rarer, older monster that dwarfs even this, and it doesn't need warm ocean water to exist. At number 4, the super typhoon. Super typhoons are the Pacific's version of a Category 5 hurricane, only usually bigger and more intense. Super Typhoon Tip in 1979 became the largest tropical storm ever recorded, around 1,380 miles across, nearly half the width of the United States. Its central pressure dropped to about 870 millibars, one of the lowest ever measured at sea level. Lower pressure means stronger winds and more violent updrafts, and Tip had both in absolutely record-breaking amounts. You could have hidden the state of Texas inside its wind field and still had room left over. You might disagree with this ranking so far. Drop your own top 3 in the comments. I want to see it, because the next storm isn't measured in miles per hour anymore, it's measured in continents. Coming in at number 3, the mesoscale convective complex, or MCC. An MCC is a massive cluster of thunderstorms that merges into a single enormous, self-sustaining system. A large one can cover several states at once and dump entire seasons' worth of rain in a single night. Some MCCs generate their own internal wind fields, spawn tornadoes, and release energy roughly equal to the eruption of a small volcano. They rank this high because they combine the worst traits of thunderstorms, floods, and tornadoes into one slow-moving giant. But the next storm isn't just a giant on Earth, it hides a secret most people never learn in school. At number 2, the polar vortex. The polar vortex is a colossal, rotating mass of freezing air that sits over the north and south poles. When it destabilizes, it sends surges of Arctic air thousands of miles south, dropping temperatures by 50 degrees or more in a single day. The 2021 Texas freeze, where the entire state's power grid nearly collapsed, was driven by exactly this kind of vortex disruption. It moves slowly, it doesn't roar, and it doesn't spawn funnels, but it can kill hundreds and cripple entire nations at once. It ranks second because it operates on a hemispheric scale, something no hurricane or tornado can ever touch. But before we get to number 1, this one deserves an honorable mention. Space weather, solar storms that erupt from the sun and slam into Earth's magnetic field. A single strong solar storm can knock out satellites, scramble GPS, and, in extreme cases, take down entire power grids. The 1859 Carrington event set telegraph offices on fire and lit up auroras all the way down to Cuba. It didn't make the main list only because technically it starts 93 million miles away, which brings us finally to number 1, the most powerful storm our planet is capable of creating. At number 1, the supercell tornado outbreak fused with a megacyclone system. But the true king of storms is the ancient hypercane. A hypercane is a theoretical super hurricane that could form if ocean temperatures ever rose past around 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Scientists believe hypercanes have actually happened before, most likely after massive asteroid impacts, like the one that ended the dinosaurs. Their winds could reach around 500 miles per hour, more than double the strongest hurricane ever recorded. Their pressure would drop so low that the storm itself could punch water vapor into the stratosphere, damaging the ozone layer for years. A single hypercane could span thousands of miles and last for weeks, reshaping coastlines and climate on a global scale. Nothing built by humans. No seawall, no shelter, no city would meaningfully survive a direct hit. That's why it earns number 1. It's not just a storm, it's a planetary scale event, and the fossil record suggests Earth has already seen them. Quick recap of the top 3. The polar vortex reshapes continents in silence. The mesoscale convective complex swallows states in a single night, and the hypercane rewrites the planet itself. Do you agree with number 1, or would you have put a Category 5 hurricane on top? Tell me in the comments. I read everyone. If this ranking hit hard, the natural disasters ranked by death toll video is even wilder, and I think it's going to genuinely bother you. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. New data-driven rankings drop every week, and next time we settle an even bigger debate about the deadliest forces on Earth. Because when nature decides to flex, we don't get to negotiate, we just get to watch. This ranking is based on general research and is meant to inform and entertain for educational and entertainment purposes only.